Yo, what up? It's your boy, Mr. E. And today we're going to learn about standard form, word form, and expanded notation. When I was a kid, I watched a lot of anime, and my favorite anime of all time is Dragon Ball Z. And in the anime community, there's this meme that goes around with a picture of Frieza saying, "You fool, this isn't even my final form." And in anime, the characters will often fight each other, and one character will expose, "I haven't even been trying my hardest. I have a form that will destroy you." And they just kind of keep bouncing off of each other until they finally have a winner. Well, I thought this was a lot like how decimals are written, because we have lots of different forms and lots of different ways we can write them until we get to the biggest, baddest form. So let's take a look into this video. So the first form we're going to have is the standard form. And on the left, I have base form Frieza. He just looks, he's tough, not too bad, but not the strongest. And we see standard form most commonly. We see it in the grocery store. This is how we would normally write a number. So we would just write a 0, a decimal, 6, 8, 9. And this is a very common way to write it. So we're going to go on to the next form, but we're going to keep the number in the bottom left here to refer to it later. So the next form that we have is word form. And you can see Frieza has gotten a little bigger, a little stronger. He looks a little bit more menacing. He looks like kind of alien-like. And that's kind of how it goes to word form. It went from these small, nice numbers that we had to a pretty long and difficult sentence. And the way that I remember to read and say word form is I'd say the whole number, 0, but then I would cover up the whole number, say the number as though it was a whole number, 689, and then I check what place value it is in. And this one's in the thousands place. So we would say it 0 and 689 thousandths. Now, this is how I typically say it even when I'm talking in standard form to help me with place value and help me remember where the numbers are going. So word form's a little bigger, a little stronger, but not the final form yet. So let's move on to the final form. Uh-oh.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Expanded notation. Now, Frieza does look a little smaller again, but he looks like he's getting ready to kick some booty. And that's what expanded notation is. It's the real deal. It's really big and bad, but honestly, we can break it down one thing at a time and we can read it ourselves. So we have a lot of parentheses, multiplication signs, and addition signs. And actually, if we follow PEMDAS, we can solve this just like we would with the triangle method. So we're going to go one thing at a time from left to right. So the 0 times 1, that just represents the 0 in standard form. If we move on to the next parenthesis, 6 times 1/10, notice the decimal just moved over to the left once. That would give us 6/10. So that represents the 6 in the standard form. Moving on to the next parenthesis, we have 8 times 100. 8 times 100th would give us 800ths. So basically, we just replace the 1 with the number that we're multiplying by. And then finally, with our new place value, the thousandths place, we would do 9 times 1,000th. And if you solve this using the triangle method, it would give us that answer of 0 and 689 thousandths. So it's really important to be able to see a number in any of these forms or notations and be able to fluently go back and forth. So let's take a look at a couple examples and get some practice. All right, so we have a number here. There's a 4.573. So if we wanted to change this into word form, we would say the whole number, which is 4, and then we would cover up the 4 and the decimal. Well, first off, we actually need to represent the decimal, and we use the word "and" to represent our decimal. And then we would cover up the whole number and the decimal, and we would just say that number as though it was a whole number. So we have 573. So 573. And then we check the place value, and we're working in the thousands place. So we'll write thousands. So the word form of this standard form would be 4 and 573 thousandths. Now, if we wanted to go to expanded notation, we would just look at each number and place value and go one at a time. So we'll start with the 4, and the 4 is in the ones place, so we'll do 4 times 1. So we keep that in a parenthesis, then we add a plus sign. This means that we're going to do the multiplication first, but since we have a lot of parentheses, it's just first come, first serve, left to right. Then we have the 5, which is in the tenths place. So we'll say 5 times 0 and 1/10. And then we'll just keep it moving. The next number is 7. And we'll multiply that by the hundredths place, because that is 7 hundredths. And then finally, we have the 3 that is in the thousandths place. And there we go. We were able to take something from standard form, change it to word form, and expanded notation. Now let's see if we can do it in reverse. So we have this number in expanded notation, and I'm going to try to take this from expanded notation to standard form. So we have 9 times 3,000, 3,000, 9 times 1,000. So that would give us a 9 in the thousandths place. So we're just going to write a 9 for now, and then move on to the next thing. Now it looks like the next one says 1 times 1/10. So it looks like we're actually going to be skipping over a whole bunch of place values, the hundreds place, the tenths place, and the ones place. So you don't really have to write those zeros in expanded notation because they don't hold any value. You're more than welcome to, but if you don't see it, then you just put a 0 in that place value. So the next number would be a 1, and it would be in the tenths place. We move on, and in the hundreds place, we have an 8, so we're going to put that there. Then the last one says 1,000th times 8, so we'll put another 8. Oh my goodness.
It's over 9,000! 9,000?!
Sorry, I just got to keep playing off of this anime thing. So if we wanted to say this number out loud, we would say 9,000, and remember that and represents the decimal. We cover up the whole number and the decimal, and we say 188. So 188. And it's in the thousandths place again. I'm kind of running out of space, so I'm going to write this right underneath it. Thousandths. So word form would be 9,188 thousandths. So this is a pretty easy topic, but as fifth graders, we should be able to go from standard form to word form, from word form to expanded notation, back and forth with ease. So I hope this video was helpful. Hopefully after a little bit of practice, you'll become a pro at going back and forth between the forms and notations. We love you guys, we miss you, and I'll see you later. Bye.